guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I am getting ready to make my fairy journal. Now I'm going to be doing it in, I think, probably an eclectic sort of no-sew binder journal like I've done before. So I've got all sorts of bits and pieces to show you that I've gathered to make the journal. So that's the first thing I'm going to do today, is just show you all the things that I've got. Now I'm going to be using my lovely fairy journal cards. Now I've got these ones which are the toppers and the journal cards, and they are come in 4 different sizes and they are just beautiful. I'll link everything under the video as well. So I've got all these beautiful cards and they are stunning. So I'm going to be using those. I'm also going to be using the vintage fairy photographs as well. Now these also come in 4 different sizes. So I've got lots of cutting out to do tonight to get myself ready. So these come in 4 different sizes. I've already cut some of the little ones out because I've used them, so I'll be using those, which are gorgeous. Now I've got these which I'm going to be using as well, which I'm going to have a flip through of those in a sec. But I've finished my they're called magical fairy papers, and these are to go with the journal, with the fairy toppers and stuff like this. And I just think they're beautiful. They are really, really lovely. Now let's find a nice little fairy picture. Look at this one. Now this is like a little water lily. It's all sort of like faded because these are sort of like background papers that you can put stuff on top of to make your journals. And I've got little swishes and I've got little stars in there. So if you look carefully, you can see all like little stars. So it's very magical. And look at that. Doesn't that just look gorgeous on the papers? And then we've got this one. Again, these come in 4 different sizes. So you've got a real, you know, selection to use. So if you wanted one smaller than that, you can put smaller ones on there. But these are just beautiful, aren't they? I think they work so well. So let me just show you. Stop talking and just give you a little flip. So this is beautiful. Again, we've got little stars. We've got the little font on the back of there, which is a little fairy story. Beautiful flowers. We've got a little fairy castle. We've got some more swooshes going through there, so it looks sort of like nice and magical. Little magical land. Look at that, just beautiful, isn't it? Loving it. So this one, look at these. I think these would look, oh, if I can pick it up, these just look beautiful on there. And we've got these 3 little fairies, look, running through there. I think it just looks stunning. So I'm so excited to make this one. I really am. And then we've got the little toadstools, and again I've got a little girl on a toadstool somewhere in here. We've got a little one here. Look at that, just gorgeous. Love them. So we've got that one, and I can use lots of glitter and stickles and everything. This is a fairy story, and I thought this would be nice to back your pages with as well. And also you can have little pockets in different ones and little doors and things like that. We're going to make it really special, and I've got little stars in there as well. And then I've got some backing, just plainer backing papers, which have got little sparkles and things on, which are just lovely, really, really lovely. And I think something this colour, it's just sort of like an orangey brown. Look at that, doesn't that look just lovely on there? I sort of like try to mix them in, the colours to go with the journal cards. But look at that, that's just beautiful. I'm loving it. And then we have a beautiful green, because I've got quite a bit of sort of like the green on here, which works really well with these. So that's the lovely magical papers, which are just stunning. So there you go, lovely, really, really lovely. And then I thought I'd just give you a quick flip through. These are the new ones out. They are in the shop. They've been in the shop for a couple of days. And these are the vintage Encyclopedia Fairy and Folklore. And I do like to give you a flip through of digital kits. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Just so you get an idea of what they look like. Because sometimes it's hard to see on Etsy what things look like. So this is all about fairies and folklore. And look at that, doesn't that just look beautiful? That would look lovely on the front of your journal, wouldn't it? So they're just lovely, all sorts of little bits going on in there about fairies. We've got gnomes, we've got about fairy dust on there, we've got little tails on there, the little ogres under the bridge. We've got little leprechauns, we've got little goblins in there. Look at that, we've got the unicorn, mermaid and the phoenix. So I love the unicorn, that's beautiful, isn't it? We've got fairy wings, and we've got the little, the fairy hoax. Do you remember the very first one? With the fairies in the bottom of the garden. So I just love them. I just think they're really nice. So we've got 8 pages of larger ones. Again, these come in 2 sizes. And then we've got 8 pages of those, and then we've scaled them down so you get 4 pages. So there was 2 pages on each one. So they are another size on there, so which is lovely. So again, you don't have to print them all off in one go. So if you just wanted the smaller ones, you can print the smaller ones off, or if you just wanted 1 page, you just print the 1 page that you want. So that's those. So that's a nice flip through. And then the other pages that I thought would probably go with this journal that I've got in my shop are the Enchanted Fairyland Embellishments. Now, this is from the embellishment pack, and this is the sort of like the words, may the sparkle of fairy dust guide you on your path. So I think that would be quite nice to go in the journal. And then we've got Fairyland, Enchanted, Magical, Legend, Myth, and things like that. So I'm going to cut those out and get those ready, because I think they would look really, really good in there. And then also I'm using some of the backing papers that are in there, which I think will go. This is the gingham that comes in the pack as well, and I just love it. I forgot I had that in there, so I printed that on the back, and I've got this one. So even if I just use little elements of this and tear them up and pop them into the pages, we've got this lovely little fairy down there, and then we've got the fairy postcards, which are great, and then we've got a lovely big butterfly. And then we have some fairies on there. So they're from the Enchanted Fairyland. And then I also found these as well, which is the scrap script Ephemera, which I'm liking. I think these are really nice. Oh, I've printed on the back, which is brown, which is from the Grungy pack, which I think I will probably just tear these around. I've got 4 of them, and because they've got sort of like roses on, they look very pretty. I think they look really sort of like pretty, and I think they would go with it really well. Because this one's sort of almost got like a faint lines down it, where you could sort of like fold that in 6. And then so we've got like a little fairy card on the top. You could fold that up and just pop it into a pocket and use that as like a little journaling spot, which I think would look really nice on there. So that's the papers. So we've got those as the papers. Let me just pop those up out of the way. So I have got a huge amount of papers, but it doesn't mean I'm going to use them all. I could probably make about 10 journals with what I've got up there. I also have my little wings, fussy cut wings, which I think might go quite well. And of course my butterflies. Now I'm just showing you all this because give you an ideas. Doesn't mean you have to have everything to go if you're going to make a fairy journal. You don't have to have everything. It's just that I've got everything here, and I just wanted to show you what I'm going to be putting into my journal. Some ideas. Now I did make this actually. This is something I made after the Shabby Saturday video, because I was using the fibres, and it's like I put it on. It's like a little skirt. She's just one of the vintage fairy photos. I just think that looks really nice, doesn't it? That looked nice on the journal page. You could just pop it down there. You could even use that as like a little pocket, which would look lovely, because if we get one of the papers, let's just get one of these a minute. Let's pop that up there. I just want to give you some ideas. So that would sort of like go on the page, and this, even if it comes out from under the bottom of the journal, can you see the black and white photos work just as well as the coloured ones? And I'm just loving them. So that's that. Oh, and the other thing I just wanted to show you, because we made these. This is another one of the black and white ones. the little things that we made. Where are they? Here we go. Look at that. That was our shabby Saturday. And doesn't that look lovely on a page? So you don't need a lot. I have a huge amount. You don't need a huge amount. I just have a lot of stash. I have a lot of stuff in here. Look at this one. This one's got green on it, so it goes really nice with the little lily pads. Do you know what I mean? And just going down the side of your page. So I hope you saw the video for this and you're going to make some, because I just think they're just beautiful. Look at that. I think they look lovely on there. So we've got those. Pop those to the side. I've got some of my little fairy booklets that we made. So we've got these with the little bits of paper, which can just tuck into a little pocket. I'll link the videos down if I can remember, and everything down, but we made all these lovelies, so they're beautiful. And then I did make these little resin dingly danglies. Oopsie daisy, that's stuck to my little butterfly wing. There we go. Which have got the little resin windows with the fairies in. So they would hang lovely off the side of the journal. And then we've got the little paper clips as well. So I've got some going one way and some going the other, and some coming down. So all of these are just going to look so lovely. I've got a few of these. I could probably make so many journals. Look at these. I just think they're beautiful. So what else? Do we have anything else in here? I don't think so. I've got the little diddy cards in here, which are great. So they're all my lovely little bits in there. Let's pop those back. I'm just going to show you what fabrics that I've got. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to pop on the front of the journal as well. Let's pop these in there. So I've kept these in a little box, but I might have to get a bigger one, you know, because I've got lots of bits in there now. I'm going to keep those in there, just so I've got everything to hand. Like I normally do, I like to sort of like gather everything up before I start a journal, because it gives me ideas of what to put in it, and then as I go through the journal I can use the same sort of things in some of the pages. But I've got this lovely ribbon. Isn't that just gorgeous? I couldn't resist that one. We have some of this one I've got the same style. This is sort of like a peachy colour and some white, so I could even sort of like colour some of this if I needed to. I've got this little lace, and these are all lovely to go down the edges of your pages. I've got some of this. I have got some of this lovely, it's sort of like the eyelash trim one, isn't it? Which is lovely, which I coloured the other day, which looked nice. I've got this one, which is a creamier colour. So these ones are lovely, like I said, to edge your pages with, because they're very sort of light. And they're not sort of like heavy on your pages. I've got a bit of pearl trim there, which is nice too. This is a little bit of lace which I brought back from the UK. I'll use some of that because I like that one. It's really nice. And I got some ribbon. Look at that. We got shiny. Oh, good excuse to have a little bit of shine, isn't it? This is a beautiful ribbon as well. This is what my mother-in-law gave me in the UK. Look at that. So I'm going to have to use that in there. It's just cries out to be in there, doesn't it? It's just beautiful. I have got some tulle. This is just a pink tulle that I've got. I have this creamy one, which is a very, very soft one, which is probably one of my favourite things to use, because it just makes things look so delicate and pretty. I have got two of these different colours. Well, I've got a creamy one and a pink one, so that's nice and shiny. We're going for all the shiny, pretty ones. Of course, I have this, which is my velvet, which is gorgeous. I need to find some more of this. I'm going to have to go into the sales and see if I can get another dress, because that was a dress. Wish I bought two. I say that all the time, but I really do now. Some little sequiny fabrics. It's like a tawly netting stuff. I have this pinky chiffony one, which is nice. A little bit of this, which is just it's just sort of like a shiny gold netting stuff, which I'm sure we can make something with. This one, look at this. Look at that. Just lovely, isn't it? So gonna have to use something like that in there as well. So, oh, so pretty. It's gonna look very pretty. And then I've just got some bits of cotton fabric here, which is, you know, got little roses on. I think this was from Amazon actually. It's just little sort of, they're almost like little sampler ones, aren't they? But aren't they gorgeous? So I might be using some of that in there as well. Like I said, just because I've got all of this, it doesn't mean I'm going to use it. I've just gone through what I had. And I got some of this. I washed this, so it does need a bit of an iron. But, you know, just little bits, just to make little ruffles or something to go on the pages as well, I think would look really, really nice. So they're all yummy little bits that I've got in here. Let's just pop them all back. So like I said, I like to gather up things that I think I might use. Not necessarily going to use them all, but I've got them there to use. And all of the sort of like pinks and purples and creams and stuff, all of the sort of like colour palette that I think would go in a fairy journal. And then of course I've got my lovely sparkly bowl with all my little bits in. So these are what I will probably put in there as well. So that's got all sorts of yummy bits in, which I leave on my desk because it's got lovelies in there. So now the front of the journal, I'm going to just show you this that I've been making. And I have been making this with my lovely pink butterfly members, showing them how I've done this, or working on it with them, and I just love it. Now this is a little fairy in the middle, which is actually this little one. That's her, and that's just what I printed onto some fabric, and then I've just, you know, embellished around it. So, and that's just on a little embroidery hoop. I've changed hoops a couple of times because I did it on a smaller one and it was too small, so I've taken it and put it onto a bigger one. But this is the cover. This is going to be the size of the cover, the front cover, because it's going to be an eclectic journal. The front one normally is smaller than the rest. I sort of like make it a little bit bigger. And this was I think it was 5 inches by 6 inches. So that's 15 centimeters, I think, by 12.5 centimeters. So what I'm going to do, once I finish sort of like embellishing around this bit, I will take it off here and I'm going to wrap these bits around it. So I'd obviously put that on the back and then I'd wrap it around it and make it all neat and tidy, hopefully. That's the idea anyway. And then that will be the front of my cover, which I think would look really, really lovely. And then what I put on the back, maybe I'll pop a little fabric, a little pocket or something on there and attach it to another page. So I don't know whether you've seen my eclectic journals. Hang on 2 seconds, let me just get one. Okay, so this is the latest one that I made. So this would be my front cover, like that. So this cover, where's my ruler gone? Where's my ruler? Is it? Here it is. So this cover widthways, that's 5. So this is 5. So that would be the same width, but this was a book cover, so it's longer. Yeah, that was 6. And then this one was 7.5. So this would be the front. Do you know what I mean? And then I would just build it up from that. And this is why I mean by a no-sew journal. We just put the pages in and sew the pages in as they go. This was done with my pansy journal, pansy papers I mean, and they just go in like that. So you attach them together with paper, so you're not sewing anything in. But I just love it. So I would like this one to be very similar to this, as a little journal. So that is all my gatherings, all my little bits and pieces. Let's pop you out of the way. So these are all my bits and pieces that I've gathered up and I'm going to be using, and these are the beautiful papers that I will be using. So it's not going to be as vibrant, I don't think, as the other one. This, oh, I don't know, might be a bit more blingy. but I think it's going to be lovely. So I've got lots of papers to use, lots of things to do this evening. I'm going to try and finish this off, see if I can get that done, and then I've got lots of fussy cutting to do. I've got all these papers to cut out, figure out what I'm going to pop on the back, and then I have all of these as well to do. So busy, busy, busy. Yeah, lovely. So I'm very, very excited about this. So tomorrow or the next day, whenever I get to do another video, it's probably be maybe Wednesday. I will show you how far I've got, all of the things that I've cut out, and get ready to make the journal. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for listening to me. Showing you all the bits and pieces that I'm going to put in my journal. So I'm quite excited. Like I said, I've made a few little bits and pieces to go in it already. But I thought all these little bits, we can have little lacy pockets, little fabric pockets, and make actually these into their own little pockets as well. So embellish those with bits and pieces. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fab rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye-bye.